Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp. Good morning. Happy Friday.
Good morning, Jen. How you doing?
You don't need to introduce yourself. They know who you are.
Oh, you don't want me to say my name anymore?
You don't have to. They know.
Hallmark.
I get it.
No, say Hallmark.
Hallmark?
Yeah.
Hallmark, Jen. I feel like I'm trying to
Oh, I
be
see
cooler
you
than
got
that.
all black because you in mourning because of that signing the Cowboys just had.
In mourning?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? It's a great morning.
No, I'm talking about that sign.
I know exactly what you're signing about.
Mourning.
You're going to be in mourning tomorrow morning because your man has a do or die tonight at Staples.
Mourning with a U.
Staples
today.
with a U. With a U. You're going to be the one
Talk
mourning.
about
Do we got to do
today.
it? Are we going to get some doing it?
Are we going to do it?
I'm leaning. I'm leaning. That's coming up next.
We're going to get to it.
Yes.
We have a lot to talk about on today's show. Will LeBron pick up a dub at Shannon's restaurant tonight?
Nobody
Maybe
goes
a bet
to
later. And our Skip's Cowboys about to make a major move on defense. But speaking of the Cowboys, we got to start with yesterday's big news. The Cowboys broke the internet when they announced Jason Witten is leaving.
Way to go, Cowboys.
They do what they can.
Yeah.
He is leaving Monday Night Football, leaving the booth. He's coming back to play a 16th season. Yes, that is the same tight end Shannon promises he could beat in a race. Today, agreed to a one-year deal with incentives that could pay him up to $5 million. Witten will turn 37 in May. Saw his numbers steadily decline before calling it quits last year, but had this to say about his decision: the fire inside of me to compete and play this game is just burning too strong. This team has a great group of rising young stars, and I want to help them make a run at a championship. This was completely my decision, and I am very comfortable with it. I'm looking forward to getting back in the dirt. So, Shannon.
Oh, back in the dirt.
How much will Witten help the Cowboys?
Did you see those highlights? Did you see the burst?
Yeah.
Did you see the spins?
What?
The 360s?
Yeah.
Woo.
I like to burst my side laughing at how slow he was moving. Skip, I don't see him making a major impact. If you look at him his last 3 years in which he played, he averaged under 10 yards a catch. And a tight end averaging under 10 yards a catch, Skip, that's not good. Your tight end should average a first down every time he touches the ball over the course of the season.
Did you see my tight ends last year?
Oh, yo, what you call him came on good, Jarwin.
Oh, Blake Jarwin. Shannon Jarwin. Yeah.
But Skip, look, I look at him, I can see him getting 30 to 40 catches. I believe his value will be more in the locker room than on the field. Because, Skip, it wasn't like he was this dynamic playmaker over the last couple of years. I mean, the last season, I think he averaged, 10 yards a catch was 2014. Last time he had a 1,000-yard receiving season was 2012. Skip, he's not the guy. He was never a burner. But, Skip, he's even slowed down even way now. So, for me, I'm looking at this signing, and I'm like, and Cowboy Nation going, whoa, we got Witten back. Really? Dude had 5 touchdowns. I mean, averaged 8 yards a catch one year, 9 another year, 3 touchdowns. Skip, I just don't see him making the dramatic impact that everybody thinks he's going. I mean, is it Travis Kelce? I mean, they make it seem like it's Kelce or George Kittle's. He's not that. He's not. And I know you're happy. He's Cowboy through and through, 16 years. Skip, come on, let's be real. And I think he's like, this was totally my decision. Whose decision was it?
Yeah.
I think what led to this decision, Skip, playing in Dallas, Jason Witten has never, ever had criticism. Never. But when you go from one genre to another, you just don't serve where you live or where you play. Everybody has a critique. And the thing about social media, Skip, people do not have a problem. Even when you're doing something really, really well, they will criticize you and point out when you don't.
Right.
And I think the thing is that Jason did not perform as well as maybe even he thought he did. But it was not his fault. You know who thought it was, Skip? Tony Romo's. Because everybody saw how good Tony Romo was, better than everybody even thought he would be. And so the natural thing was, well, he played for the Cowboys. He studied tape. He should be able to be just like Tony Romo. That's unfair. It's totally different. There's a reason why the majority of the color guys are either head coaches or quarterbacks. You look at Troy. You look at Gruden,
I agree with you.
You look at John Madden. You look at most of the guys, Tony Romo, Phil Simms. If you look at most of them, Skip, they were quarterbacks with the exception of Collinsworth. Collinsworth played receiver.
He did.
And for me, I studied a lot of tape. I watched a lot of tape. But I didn't watch the tape. I feel very comfortable in saying this, that I didn't study the tape like John did. Skip, I'm going to the line of scrimmage and I'm looking, okay, I look at the front. Now, this is what the front, okay, they're playing this front. They normally play this coverage because it's on this down and distance, this area of the field. Okay, now, I don't really know. Now, I'm saying, this is what my mindset is, okay, this is what I think they're going to do. But I'm mainly looking at the triangle. I'm looking at the corner, the safety, and the linebacker on my side. I'm looking at that triangle. John Elway can't just worry about that. He has to worry about the entire, he can't just worry about the triangle. He has to worry about everything and work mainly about Derek Thomas putting a helmet in his back while reading coverages. And because Tony, what was Tony doing? He was calling the play before they was there. They're going to do this. You see him, Omaha, this is a run. He's going to check to a run. And Jason didn't have that. And the criticism. And when you're not used to criticism, Skip, it's not easy. Because I went and sat on the desk right after I got out of the football, Skip. I'm from rural South Georgia. I have a very heavy colloquial dialect. And when people talked about I couldn't hear, and I went to speech therapists, and I went to linguists, and I went to speech classes, and did speech patterns, and I have my book that I still go through every day. At the time, but I just came to the realization, Skip, I've lived there. I'm almost 40. The likelihood of me being able to articulate words like Mike Tirico or James Brown is not going to happen. Instead of me trying to be something I'm not, let me embrace who I am.
By the way, those two guys didn't play pro football. Go ahead.
Exactly.
No?
So, and I'm saying, you know what? Instead of me trying to do all this, sure, I'm never going to be proficient at words like these guys are. Let me embrace who I am. This is who I am. Accept it. And so I think that had a lot to do with Jason returning because of the criticism that he received. But Skip, I don't see the big impact that you might think. Like I said, I don't know.
I haven't even said a word yet. In fact, we're 20 minutes into the show and I still haven't spoken.
Well,
Am I right?
Go ahead. Okay,
Yeah, I'm watching my watch. I've never heard so many words.
That watch don't even work.
You are sure worked up about a move that you say will have no bearing on the Cowboys.
That watch doesn't even work.
Huh?
That watch doesn't even work.
Skip, what do you think?
What was the question?
Yeah, you know the question. You know the question was.
So I think you were telling me that the reason you struggle so mightily against me on this show is you didn't play quarterback and you weren't a head coach. Is that right?
No, that's not it.
Oh, that's not it. The best point you made was the Tony Romo point. And I found it sad, actually, that Jason Witten's best friend in the whole world, Tony Romo, basically did in Jason Witten in his attempt to step into the hallowed spot in that booth on Monday Night Football on ESPN because it was impossible for Jason Witten to measure up to his best friend. He was a sensation. He broke out. He became a superstar broadcaster virtually overnight because he was calling the plays before they happened.
Sure.
And again, I can't defend Jason. Frankly, he wasn't great.
No.
Can I just say that? He wasn't great. Right?
And
Skip,
it doesn't happen overnight.
Skip, you've been around this enough.
I have.
Some of the greatest